As I said yesterday, we saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we process that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime.
All right, this is still developing this morning. National talk show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, has gone missing. Her home now considered a crime scene. Nancy was reported missing on February 1st. So we're turning now to Ann Emerson of Criminally Obsessed to get some more information. This is such a wild and shocking case that we hear about, Ann. What's the latest? Do we know anything new this morning? Let's start there.
Well, that's a great question. I mean, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, we know that she had limited mobility, but she was sharp as a tack, is how she's been characterized, and went missing. The new information we're learning, because I know everybody just wants to hear something that this case is moving forward, is that they think that they might have found some DNA that may be relevant, a DNA profile. That's what the sheriff was sharing last night to several media outlets, including several networks. So we're following that right now, that they've sent that to a crime lab, and they're hoping that that DNA will give them a lead. And there's a few different ways that they'll be able to look at that DNA. They'll try and put it into a central database if there is anything that they're able to lift out of there. If nothing comes back, through CODIS, which would give them an idea if there was already a perpetrator that there is known. Right? If that doesn't happen, then we're going to have to be looking at some other options with DNA. But there are options when it comes to DNA.
So what led investigators to believe that she was abducted? What have they released to indicate that?
Yeah, this is so hard, isn't it? I mean, an 84-year-old mama like this, and to be the mother of Savannah Guthrie, who everybody absolutely adores in America, I think, what they're seeing is that this lady, it appears it was some kind of kidnapping or abduction, which are different things, by the way. Kidnapping is more related to some kind of possible ransom, and abduction would be that they were just taken against their will for whatever reason. But it appears, because we know that there's DNA in there, that there was some blood that we're told is the DNA that they're looking at. That's what's being reported right now, so we can only go based on these reports. But it appears that there was some kind of break-in into her home. And they are characterizing this as a crime scene. And they said that pretty early on yesterday, that this was a crime scene, and they had homicide detectives on site. What I'm hearing from people on the ground there right now is that they're looking at, they're not necessarily doing one of those massive search and rescue efforts for someone who would go missing. Instead, what we're seeing is a very careful talking to everybody in the neighborhood, going house to house, trying to get any kind of cameras, any surveillance that's out there, boots on the ground, people looking everywhere to see if there's any clues, because that's what they need to see right now. They need to have some idea of where she could have been taken. But yeah, they are pretty sure that she was taken out of the home. Again, she had limited mobility, so that is an issue. She couldn't have gotten very far on her own. And I've looked at pictures around that house, and it is scrub brush. It is a house that is off the beaten track, as it were, just because it's in this beautiful foothills outside of Tucson. And the other thing that I'm hearing that I thought was interesting is there's not a whole lot of lights out there at nighttime, and they think that she disappeared sometime possibly between 1 and 4 a.m. is what we're hearing. And what we're hearing is that, because there's an observatory that's not so far away. Now, this is just information I've learned from people that live in the area. There's not a lot of lights because they try and keep those lights low. So it made it very dark for cameras to see what's going on.
Okay, so she is the family member of a well-known person in the country. A lot of people, the speculation turns to ransom of some kind. Has there been any ransom demand?
You know what? I talked to some of my legal experts about that this morning, because they're saying that they don't see, or they, as being the Pima County Sheriff's Office, they're telling us that they don't have any direct connections, any reason to believe yet that is the case. But at the same time, when I talk to my legal people out there, they tell me they're not going to tell you if there's a ransom right now. that would be really dangerous. So, we have to take everything with a grain of salt, right? Because we're not in that investigation. We are just reporting on what's happening. Is it random? Is it targeted? And is there a ransom that would be in any way connected to her high profile, much loved daughter? But you remember, her daughter is not a polarizing figure within the media either. So not to take that off the table because she's still high profile, but it is something that I think people should consider as well. So I do hear that the sheriff's office has been in contact with her security detail, which is something that did catch my ears, that they're talking to her security detail. So they're obviously going through any possible threat. But what if it feels a little quiet today as we go through this? We're going to have a lot of analysis. We have a private investigator who's worked a lot in that area. I've got an interview up right now that's really walking us through what's happening at that crime scene. But also today, I'm going to be explaining a lot more about the DNA, what that timetable looks like, and how they're going to be trying to decipher what they can from it. Plus, talking to other content creators who are talking to people on the ground there, because the idea is that we've got to get awareness out there. If we're going to find Nancy Guthrie, we need to have everybody with their ears up, looking or thinking about anything they could have possibly have seen, especially if they live anywhere near that area.
Yeah, and time is of the essence because of the medication she needs. So I know that's a critical aspect of all of this as well. And thank you so much for talking with us this morning.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people waiting to learn more on this one. It's just such a bizarre case. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.